So it's new machine day here. Got a couple of items here I just picked up today. Two machines, bunch of 50 taper tooling for the Kearney and Trecker mill. We'll get these unloaded. Me and the wife will get these unloaded in the shop, and I'll do a more thorough walkthrough and show you what we've got. Okay, so everything's a mess again, moving stuff around. Here's one of the new machines that you've seen on the trailer there. This is a 20-ton hydraulic press. See it sitting next to my 6-ton arbor press. Now the arbor press is pretty handy. I still use that for a lot of things, but there's some things that arbor press can't do. That's where this this shop press comes along. Got it for a pretty good price. Didn't get any press plates with it. I'll have to get some of them. It's also missing the handle here. It's got a piece of tubing the former owner made up for it, but we can probably come up with something a little better than that light wall tubing. But it's about 11 1/8 by 24 inches. Looking on eBay at some plates, seems to be about the best price place that I can find. I'm going to buy some 12-inch wide plates. So two 12-inch wide plates will fill up this gap here completely. Use that so I've got a nice solid base in there for some heavy duty pressing and stuff. If I need some more maneuverable plates with some room to be able to adjust them, I can get some or make some smaller plates later. I've got some of these 1-inch blocks that I've been using on the arbor press here. They should be able to make up some pressing plates for that, for some lighter duty work. But like I said, I'll get some full plates for using this up to its max capacity. Okay, now we're over by the Kearney and Trecker, the K&T mill. Don't mind the flooring rolled up down there. I don't know if you can see it or not. And this is another lot of tooling that I got. So this is a bunch of National 50 taper tooling. Oh, there's a Cat 50 in here. Get rid of the Cat 50. Okay, now the rest of the tooling there is National 50 taper. So I got all these. It's the same taper that this mill takes. See, we got a couple of flavors of Jacobs chucks. Yes, those are actual Jacobs chucks. Narix boring head. Another boring head. Smaller boring heads. Extended end mill holders. Even a big dovetail cutter back here. This is probably a little large for this mill, but I should be able to use my horizontal mill now as a poor man's or a miniature boring mill. I also in the lot we got some tie downs and some 2-inch diameter end mills in the lot. Now all the tools you see up here on the mill, those are ones that I already had here. This isn't going to be the final storage location for them on this old table I got here, because obviously it would be hard to operate this machine with all this stuff sitting in the way, but here they sit for now. Well, I just realized in the last last two shots there, you might hear some background noise. Unheated shop. It's springtime. Temperatures going up and down. Got to run a dehumidifier in here. Between that and oil in the machines, try to keep the rust at bay. I'll turn that off before we continue. Okay, and now for the big purchase of this trip. This is, believe it or not, a Monarch Lathe. This is what they call a Monarch Merit lathe. This is the lightest duty lathe that Monarch made. They made this in an attempt to compete in the lighter lathe market. I might have my dates and figures slightly incorrect, but you'll get the idea. I believe they made these from 1965 to somewhere around 1972, 1974, something like that. They only made about 182 of these. Now, obviously, they didn't do too well in the market, so they stopped making them. But well, it's still a Monarch lathe, and it's quite an upgrade from my shop from that little South Bend 9-inch. Now, I bought this as a non-runner. It's got a DC drive in it that's known not to be working. Some guys I know run a machine repair business. They had this in their shop. They moved their shop about 10 years ago, and when they moved it, it would never run again. There's something wrong in the DC servo drive. So this has been sitting in the back of their shop for 10 years. This is pretty much how I got it. You can see I've cleaned up the ways a little bit when I was doing some inspections. I've gone through the gearbox by manually turning the input shaft, checking all the feeds, all the levers, all the gears. Everything seems to work okay. But I got this for such a low price, basically scrap prices if you include everything else, maybe even less than that it makes it viable to repair this. So this is a 1967 model. It's called it's a 16-inch swing, 42, 46-inch bed length. Let's take a look. "42-inch bed length according to the Monarch chart on the serial number tag on the back. Or my plans are, instead of repairing the existing DC drive, which is full of 50-year-old plus components, I'm going to gut this, put a AC drive in here with a 3-phase motor. That'll allow for the variable speed, and it'll also plug into single-phase 220 volts. It still has a 2-speed gearbox, so that will help reduce the speed range on the AC motor and help reduce the loss of horsepower or torque going above or below 60 hertz. So I've already started accumulating parts. Here's the motor, 3-horsepower motor. A box of miscellaneous parts. I've got pretty much everything I need except for the drive itself. The drive itself was back ordered. It was supposed to be out 6 weeks. I ordered it 2 weeks ago, but now I just got the UPS shipment notification from the supplier, so it sounds like it came in early. But the plans are to document this process, document this rebuild. So there's not a lot of information about these because they didn't make a whole lot of them. I was only able to find a couple of short YouTube videos of guys operating these. They didn't tell much about them. So I'm not a licensed electrician or nothing, so I won't go through every exact detail about building the panel. I will let you know that all the fuses, everything will be sized properly. I did go to school for electronics engineering, so I am familiar with it, and I have built industrial electrical panels for myself. I'll document the rebuild process. I'll show the parts as I strip them out of the machine, so anybody who works on these in the future, at least there will be some more information available. Might not be what everybody agrees to. Some guys, they might prefer to repair the DC drive for one reason or another, but I'm going to go with the AC drive. And another thing I'll do is I'm going to go through and clean this up some. You'll obviously see we got missing handles. I replaced missing handles, wrong handles. Eventually I'd like to get a 4-jaw chuck for this. It's got a 3-jaw bison chuck on there. I'd like to get it's an 8-inch 3-jaw bison chuck. I'd like to get a 4-jaw. I haven't decided yet whether I'll go 10-inch or 12-inch. I know comparable size grizzly lathes, they offer 12-inch 4-jaw as an option, so I haven't decided yet. So this is going to be quite an upgrade, going from a 9-inch south bend, 9 by, I think that's 34, 36, to a 16 by 42. Other thing that I'm excited about is the spindle bore in the south bend 9. The spindle bore here is 3/4 or 7/8. I can't remember for sure. Well, this has got an 1 13/16 spindle bore, so that'll be pretty good. See, this has already got a tool post on it. Don't have too much experience with that style tool post, but we'll figure it out. I'm not going to go through and move it and slide it around and show it for any of you, because other than cleaning off this section of the ways here just to inspect to see how much wear it has, which it has a small amount of wear. It's not too bad. I haven't cleaned up anything else. I haven't cleaned up any of the ways here. I haven't cleaned up the cross slides or none of that stuff, or the top slide. So I want to pull that all apart, or at least slide it from one end to the other, clean all the dirt and grit from sitting 10 years out from underneath there before I start dragging it back and forth and rubbing all that grit in all the ways. Top off all the oils. See there, this gearbox has oil in it. This gearbox has oil in it. Now the headstock has got oil, but it's just at the bottom of the sight gauge there. So it's obviously leaked out over the last 10 years of sitting, but everything seems to be in fair condition. I will be pulling this top off, which I imagine will give me access to the gearbox to do a little more thorough investigations. I've got to pull that off and find out what kind of variable resistor or whatever is behind there, and see if I can either utilize that as is, or if I've got to replace it for the input to the VFD to vary the drive. My goal is when you approach the lathe, it won't look any different than this would have been brand new, and in fact it'll run the same. You'll still get the same speed variation on this dial. This is basically 0 to 370 in the low gear, and then 420 to 1800 RPM in high gear. It'll all function the same. It's just all the electrical inside will be updated, more modern. I'll still use these same buttons for turning on and off the power to the frequency drive. And it all should work out pretty good if it goes as planned. I'll bring you guys along for the ride. If I don't show everything in detail, I'll at least make summary videos as I go along and document the work on a little known of machine. And if somebody doesn't find the information useful, hopefully they'll at least find it interesting to watch the process. So Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you continue to come along with me in future videos and see what it brings, and I'll see you next time.